Good morning. This is Cheryl Salazar with OTT Inc. Today we have Ron Peterson, our Manufacturing Practice Manager, who will provide us with an overview of NetSuite's manufacturing and distribution capabilities. Ron, over to you.
Hi, I'm Ron Peterson, Manufacturing Practice Manager with OTT. I'll be speaking with you today regarding NetSuite and its capabilities for manufacturers and distributors. Let's get started.
We're going to spend the next 15 minutes or so talking about manufacturing and distribution, but first I'd just like to quickly position sort of manufacturing and distribution and how it sits in NetSuite. So for those of you that are manufacturers or distributors, that's what your company does, but it's probably not the only thing that's important to you. NetSuite understands this, and to support a world-class manufacturing system, NetSuite has built it on these three pillars: financials, CRM, and commerce. So as we've seen, financials is very robust, and it's easy to understand, and it's easy to see the financial impact of the decisions that you make. It has very strong financials. Now with NetSuite CRM, it's a completely embedded system. You don't even realize that you're running a complete world-class ERP system. And NetSuite built it in the understanding that you need to be fully connected to your customer. You have to know what they order, what they have ordered, what they're going to order, and when and how I should reach out to them. Now, I think most importantly is the third piece, which is e-commerce, which NetSuite focuses on being connected to the Internet of everything. So for not only for you being able to connect to NetSuite with anything from anywhere, you're able to connect to customers and vendors' websites and to integrate into their social media. Now, these are the things that supports what I would call modern manufacturers. So, as a manufacturer, you're not really making products in isolation anymore. You need to be plugged into this Internet of everything. Okay, so back to manufacturing. NetSuite has functionality for virtually every type of manufacturer, from project manufacturing to process, and every step inside of that process. So from engineering the product to planning to scheduling to quality assurance, and if it doesn't quite fit, then it can be easily tailored to your own specifications. So what we're looking at here is NetSuite, and we're looking at a particular role. As Sarah mentioned, there are a number of roles in the system. I have a number of them for demo purposes, but normally there would only be a couple. You would have the standard employee center, where you would submit expenses or do your time tracking, and then you'd have your main role. So I'm going to look first here at engineering, and we can see some of the things that Sarah had pointed out. So you can have I have reminders of things that I have to do. I have tasks that are required, tasks for approval. But if I'm in if I am an engineer, then one of the things that I'm tasked with is creating bills of material and maintaining items. So how would I navigate to an item? Well, there's a search button here up at the top, which is sort of the Googling inside of NetSuite. If I type, for example, Smith in here, I would just get everything that's associated with Smith. If I wanted to look for a customer that had Smith in it, I would just use a shortcut for a customer, and it would show some results for customers. Now, as I'm an engineer, I'm focused on items, so I'm just going to type in part of my item number. There it is. So I am now looking at an assembly, a bill of material for my rack 001. You can see here it has a lot of properties. So you can see here it has an item number, just a bunch of descriptions, and an image. So if I scroll down a little bit further, we can see that there are units of measure, purchasing, stocking, sales. And then we get down into the detail here. So across this ribbon, we can see different properties of this assembly. So where some systems have bills of material and routings separate from an item, this is built right into it. So we can see for manufacturing, in this tab, we can see the components that are listed. These are all of the items that go into this assembly. So there's a number of items with their quantity, the revisions, the shrinkage or the yield percentages. But not only that, but the routing. How do I build this? So if I wanted to put routing steps in there, I could create routing steps. This is how I create it. This is the time it takes, and this is the cost for creating this particular item. There's also inventory properties for this item. So whether or not it's bin tracked, serial tracked, and of course all of the different inventory properties across the sites. So we have lots of information here as far as stocking levels, build points, the demand source, whether or not we're collecting data for this particular routing, many things in here. So I'm going to flip back here to my home page and also look quickly here at costed bill of materials. So I can look at this assembly again. Oops. And we can see that I can look at the costs and the makeup of a particular assembly, and I can look at it by location. I can look at it by date, how it has changed over time, as well as by revision level. So if I wanted to see the cost bill of material for one revision and compare it to another revision, I can do that as well. Okay. So what we're going to do now is just sort of take a quick day in the life just to kind of get an idea of how things flow through the system. So we're in as an engineer right now. We're going to switch over to sales. And again, we have a number of portlets here that we can look at. Since we are inside a CRM system, it's telling me things that I need to do to support that. So I have a number of opportunities that I have a number of calls that I have to complete. I have a number that are overdue. And I could click on them, but I do also have them set up here. So I can come right in here and start making calls, make notes on those, and it will log that right into the CRM system. So what we're going to do, though, is we're going to jump right in, and we're going to enter a sales order. So that's right on my navigation portlet. here's a sales order. I'm going to choose the customer, same one from earlier. Smith. And before I get too far, I do want to point out here that there's something called form, and it exists in many different places, not only the sales order, but on the manufacturing order and purchase orders. It's a way to, on the fly, tailor how information is entered. So it can expose or hide different information and make it process a particular way. So though you can have it automatically choose a form based on the customer or based on the item or based on where the order came from, you can change it here if you'd like. So we could choose to create a sales order for a make-to-order environment or a make-to-stock environment, or maybe for pass-through items that will automatically create a purchase order, create an invoice straight up, or maybe, you know, for a city desk type of scenario, create just a very light sales order. We're just going to take the primary sales order form here, and we're going to come down and we're just going to choose a particular item. So I'm going to choose the rack. And we can see here that there's 43 on hand, there are 31 available, and I'm ordering 1. So even though I have some available, I have set this item up to automatically create a work order, since this is sort of a make-to-order environment. So I am going to automatically create a work order for this sales order. So this is really all I need to do. I could look at promotions, billing, shipping. I could look at upsell items that this customer has previously purchased for this configuration. But at this point, I could simply save it. However, it is going to require me to calculate the shipping cost. So this is integrated in with, you know, if you're using FedEx or UPS or whatever, just simply calculate the shipping costs. Okay, and it calculated it, 50 bucks. I can now save the sales order. I can save it and fulfill it, or create a new one, print or email. So I'm just going to save, and we're ready to go. Just going to process this. There it goes, and it's also in the background created a work order, 685. So we go back and look at it if we wanted to. Create a deposit, fulfill it, whatever we wanted to do. But at this point, we could flip over and take a look at that manufacturing, but we're going to break in just a little bit and look at procurement. So sure, I need to make it, but what about the things that I need to buy? So I'm going to change to my procurement role. A lot of information on here. So if we look at our reminders, we have orders that we need to receive. We have 81 items that are coming in the dock. We have 13 items that we need to order. We have purchase orders to place yet, and some requisitions to approve. We can scroll down here just a little bit and see that we have some vendor performance matrices. There's a handy expedite list. These are the items that are behind schedule. We need to step on. These are over 2 weeks late. But if I needed to just come in here and order items, part of my daily job, I could just come in here and change this date. Right, so it says, well, here are the 13 items that I need to purchase. So we're looking at across all sites. I could narrow this down by sites, by vendors, by purchasing agents. But it is giving me a list of everything that I need to buy in a time-phased fashion. So if I was in a project type of manufacturing, I should be buying to orders, and this is what I need to buy to keep my manufacturing orders from having lineouts. So the next level of complexity is if you're not doing time-phased orders would be Reorder Point, and that's simply just changing the view. So from time phase to Reorder Point. So now it's the same 13 items, but it's taking into account more information. So I can see here what's my stocking level, what are my reorder points, how many are on back order, and it's going to make recommendations based on those factors. So I could come in here and I could simply mark all, and it would consolidate all of these requirements onto the fewest number of vendors per time bucket. So if I didn't want to do that, I wanted to take it to the next level of complexity. Go back to my dashboard, and I could do some demand planning. So I'm going to come over here. Now, with demand planning, there's a couple of things that we can do. We can create a demand plan for all of our items, and a demand plan will go out and it will look at the historical usage for all of your items that are included in the plan, and then project future usage based on complex algorithms that you've assigned. So either linear regression or moving average or seasonal average or a sales forecast. And it will create a demand plan. This is what I think you're going to use going forward. Now from there, you also create a supply plan. Now the supply plan will go out and explode out the bill of materials, and it will create the master production schedule and allow you to do rough cut capacity planning to be able to see if I can build all of these, can I actually make and support, and can production support what I need to purchase. So it has very robust procurement as well. All right, so from there, I'm just going to change roles once more. I'm going to flip over to manufacturing. And we can see a number of the same types of things in my reminders. I have work orders that I need to build. I have some that I need attention because they failed inspection. I have some late manufacturing orders. So if I scroll down here, I can see the work orders that are in process, where they are in process, and a list of work orders. So these are the work orders that I put in recently here. We can just go take a quick look and just edit. Here's the manufacturing order that I created. I'm just going to save this item. All right. So we can see here's the work order. It's firmed now. Here are the items that are associated with it. It has the operations. And if I come in here, I could start processing this order. I could print the bill of material, which would be the pick sheet. I could issue the components, create a pick ticket. I could enter the completion of the finished goods, and I can also do some back flushing. So we can do many different things right from here, or if we're not working on an order-by-order basis, we can do this for across many orders. So I'm going to flip back to my dashboard. I'm just going to show you one more thing. If I go down to my shortcuts here, I'm going to see the manufacturing task scheduler. This is a neat little view. Flip over a couple of months here. They'll allow you to see the work center load in your shop. So I'm looking at a collapsed view of just one work center, but we can see here that we have a problem. So I can hover over and peek into each one of these, and we can see more information regarding this particular task. What manufacturing order it is, what status it's in, what percent completion it's in. And if we need to move it, which looks like we do here, we can just grab it and we can just drop it into another time slot here. And we can get to where we need to be to reduce the load on our work center.
Thank you, Ron. Should you need more information, please don't hesitate to contact us at OTT using any of the methods below. Thank you.